I've seen life come in. I've seen life go out when I worked in the hospital. And it's interesting because I've actually had in readings souls of babies talk to me before they're born, as well as people on the other side. Isn't that like so juicy and mysterious, isn't it? When this physical body is no longer useful, the spirit calls forth the soul from the body. And what happens is that the spirit and the soul, the spirit helps loosen the soul from this cavity, this robe that we wear. It's an exterior covering. And as that happens, the soul begins to move and shift within the body. And the way it travels is it moves straight up the center of your body and it shoots right out the top of your head. Before I go any further, I want to say something I forgot to say. Let me touch on this, because this is important in case there's people in here that are still grieving. Mediumship is never a substitute for grief counseling. It can, however, work beautifully together, the two, when the time is right. So back to what happens with the physical death process. Your soul shoots directly up the center of your body, right out the top of your head, just like that. And once you're free of this thing that we're wearing, this body, you are free of the sensation of pain, hunger, the feeling of being constricted within an enclosed piece of cloth, so to speak. You are, especially, most interestingly, free of the concept of time, which causes us all such anxiety, does it not? It is freedom beyond belief. And there is no pain at the moment that you shoot out the top of your head. There's no pain associated with it. It takes but a moment. It's been described as falling asleep. The same sensation as falling asleep. The only difference being that your soul continues onward rather than waking up the next morning. You know that you're you. You're not like disoriented, like, oh my God, I don't know what's what and who's who, and you're not disengaged, fractured from yourself. You know that you're you. You have that clear awareness. Your consciousness is with you. So, there you are. You're free. You're totally free. You're unrestricted. It's painless. You've popped out. You've had the sensation of going down the tunnel really fast, accompanied by wind. And you know the bright light at the end of the tunnel they talk about? Guess what that is? It's not really heaven or something like that. It's the brightness of your being. It's really you. Anybody know what we are when we drop the body? What do we look like? Light. Who said light? Totally light. Absolutely light. I'll just tell you the story. You know, everybody know what orbs are? The light phenomena? Orbs can be a lot of different things, but one thing they are as well is people that have left their bodies behind. We had a lady in Arizona. She lived behind us and she passed away, and she happened to be Mormon, and she lived to be, like 90-something, and she could still thread a needle. She was incredible. But anyway, she stepped out, left her body, and when she passed, we took some orb shots at night in the backyard. Not for that reason, it's just because we shoot orbs a lot. And in the weeping willow tree in her backyard were these beautiful, big, blue, giant orbs with patterns inside them. They look like blue moons inside the willow tree. And those orbs, I looked at them and I thought, Mormons are big believers in the celestial family. And the first thing I thought was, that's probably her family, her connections. They're very big on family members connecting and meeting. So this is what we are when we drop the body. We are pure, vibrating light. We're kind of electrical, and we're in a light formation. And as you travel down the tunnel, you see the brightness of that light. You land from there, after you pass through the light, you land on what is called the cradle of God or the plane of bliss. Different names for it. On this plane, you rest. You are at rest on the plane of bliss or in the cradle of God. I can't imagine what it would be like. I've not experienced it, but I have seen it through the eyes of the dead people I've spoken with. And what is meant by at rest on the plane of bliss? You know, one thing I thought about that when I used to hear it, I thought, that sounds kind of dull. You know? Doesn't it? I'm at rest on the plane. Well, here's the deal. At rest doesn't mean you're like taking a nap for 1,000 years. I always wondered in Sunday school, why would we be at rest, sleeping all this time when we could be doing things? How dull is that? At rest means this. You don't have to be or strive or do anything. You just are okay with who you are. You're totally just centered and just at peace and totally cohesive. You're not fractured. You don't have anxieties. There's no worries. There's no concerns. And know this, if you don't know anything else, on that other side, your loved ones do not regret being where they are. They do not. Because, as I said before, it is the unimaginable imagined. You're going to hear more about what it really is